All right, let's talk about manifestation. I know, you've probably heard that word a million times. But what if the real secret isn't just about thinking positive? What if it's something way deeper, way more powerful, and, honestly, potentially a lot more dangerous? Let's get into it.
No, I want you to really think about this for a second. Imagine if every single thought that popped into your head, the good ones, the bad ones, the weird, random ones, instantly became real, right there. What would your world actually look like? To get our heads around this, let's dive into a really powerful story.
So, in yogic lore, there's this parable that just perfectly captures this double-edged sword. You know, the mind's incredible power to create, but also its equal power to destroy. It's the story of a traveler whose luck takes a very dramatic and very fatal turn.
Okay, so picture this, a super tired traveler. He just stumbles into this place that feels like paradise. He's exhausted and all he can think is, man, I just need to rest. And poof, right there, the most comfortable spot to lie down just appears. He wakes up a little while later, he's hungry, and he starts thinking about all this amazing food, and boom, a whole feast materializes right in front of him. Then he's thirsty, thinks of a drink, and suddenly he's got every kind of beverage you can imagine. But then his mind starts to turn. He gets a little paranoid. He thinks, wait a minute, this is way too good to be true. There have got to be ghosts here. And just like that, ghosts appear. Totally panicked, his last thought is, they're going to torture me and kill me. And that is exactly what happened. So what in the world happened? Was he attacked by some evil spirit? Nope. See, the problem wasn't what was around him. It was where he was. He had, completely by accident, sat down under a Kalpavriksha, a wishing tree from ancient lore. Under that tree, whatever he thought instantly came true. That amazing feast, it came from his mind, but so did the ghosts, the torture, and his own death.
Now, of course, this story isn't really about some magical tree. It's a metaphor, right? That wishing tree represents a mind that's become super organized and powerful. The traveler's fate wasn't sealed by ghosts. It was sealed by his own undisciplined mind, what the yogic traditions call the monkey mind.
The actual term for this is markata. And why a monkey? Well, think about what a monkey does. It's got two main qualities. First, unnecessary movement. It's always jumping from branch to branch, never still. And second, imitation. It just copies whatever it sees. Sound familiar? That's exactly what an untrained human mind does. It leaps from one random thought to the next, and it just endlessly copies the ideas, fears, and habits it sees all around it.
And this slide really just lays out the two paths we can take. On one side, you've got the monkey mind, the markata. It's all about chaos, compulsion, and as we saw with our poor traveler, it's ultimately self-destructive. But then look at the other side. A well-established, organized mind, it becomes its own wishing tree. It becomes a Kalpavriksha. Instead of pointless jumping around, you get focused direction. Instead of just copying everyone else, you start to consciously create. You go from being chaotic to being this powerful force that actually manifests your will.
And this all boils down to one absolutely crucial idea. The state of your mind is the state of your world. And that's not just some feel-good saying. It's a fundamental principle of how we, as humans, literally build our reality. Seriously, just stop and think about that. Every single thing that we humans have ever made on this planet, every building, every phone, every piece of art, it all began as just a thought in someone's head. But so did every weapon, every war, every terrible thing. The most wonderful and the most horrific creations, they both spring from the very same place, the human mind.
So, that kind of puts the ball in our court, doesn't it? If we don't get a handle on our own inner world, then whatever we create out in the real world is going to be just as accidental and chaotic. To build the world we actually want to live in, we first have to learn how to build the kind of mind we want to live with.
Okay, so how do we actually do this? How do we go from having that chaotic monkey mind to having a powerful wishing tree mind? Well, the answer is in bringing harmony to the 4 basic dimensions of who you are. It all comes down to the number 4. There are 4 key dimensions you need to get working together, all in perfect sync.
And here they are. It's your physical body, your mind, your emotions, and your fundamental life energies. When you can get all 4 of these lined up and pointing in the same, unwavering direction, that's when you can make pretty much anything happen. The problem for most of us, though, is that these 4 are basically in a constant civil war with each other.
This slide shows that internal conflict just perfectly. So look at the overthinker. They have a desire, I want a house, but their mind immediately throws up a counter thought. Yeah, but that's not possible. I've only got 50 rupees. So you have desire plus doubt, and they just cancel each other out. You get nothing. Now look at the person of simple faith. They also want a house, but they hand over the how to something bigger than them. They get rid of the counter thought. They remove the doubt. And that right there is the real formula. Desire minus doubt equals a result.
I mean, how often do we do this? We limit what we think we can do based only on what we've done in the past. We say, oh yeah, I can do this because it's happened before, but no way I can do that just because it hasn't happened yet. The source material calls this a disgrace to the human spirit. It's not our job to figure out what's possible or impossible. That's nature's business. Our only job is to get crystal clear on what we want and then strive for it with everything we've got.
So what's the end game here? It's a huge shift in how we operate. It's about moving from being a creature of habit and compulsion to becoming a conscious creator, a true architect of your own life.
See, our real problem isn't a lack of power. We have incredible power. The issue is that we use it unconsciously, like we're puppets being pulled by these compulsive strings, and it often leads to us sabotaging ourselves. The goal is to cut those strings, to move from that compulsive autopilot state to a conscious, deliberate state of creation.
So, where do you even begin? It can start with one simple commitment, the moment you wake up. Just create one single powerful thought. Today, wherever I go, I will create a peaceful, loving, and joyful world. That one commitment, if you hold it consistently, becomes your anchor. It starts to organize your mind, and a stable mind starts to organize your emotions. When your mind and emotions are on the same page, your body and your energy, well, they have no choice but to follow. And when all four of those are aligned, your ability to create becomes absolutely phenomenal.
And listen, don't worry about getting it perfect. For someone who is truly committed, there's really no such thing as failure. If you fall down 100 times, that's just 100 lessons you've learned. You just get up and you go again.
So, I'll just leave you with this final thought. Right now, in this very moment, the very source of creation is alive and working inside of you. You have direct access to that power. So the only question left is, what will you choose to create with it?